Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video, and it is time to showcase Rain, the newest and third unit of the Space Meta 2.0. Thank you and shout out to Kellanori for letting me borrow his account where he has Rain. Thank you. I wouldn't be able to do it without you guys, so thank you for continuing to keep my content coming and all the assistance that my great community lends me. So let's go through what she does very quickly. I already did her video. So she is an AoE. She gives poison evasion on her ult, and then her first skill deals 300% basic space physical attack to all targets, just like Velazard and Daggerel. She also hurts herself for 25%, so, I mean, already that skill is better than Daggerel's, because it's 50% more damage and 5% less HP that you have to cut. Still not great. Still not a big fan of it, but at least it's not as bad. And then her second skill decreases all targets' space resistance by 25%. Okay, so I thought it was only going to be 20, but it's 25, so that's pretty good. And then crit damage up by 15%, which is less than what Carrion would do, because he gives 20% to everybody, but you also are getting the 25% resistance down, so it's doing double time. She uses a claw. Her trait is that if you have 70% or less HP, you do an extra 4%, 3% attack, and then up to 5%, but this is a level 80 Rain, so we're not going to have that available. And she uses a claw, just like Milim, just like Carrion, so if you got her, make another claw, which doesn't really make sense since her ult is literally a giant laser cannon. I would think that that would probably be a book more than anything, maybe summoning it, but that's just me. She's a physical attacker, right? She's a physical damage dealer launching a laser beam. Whatever. Now, one thing that I do have to note before we start this video is that this account, unfortunately, does not have the new Guy or Velazard, so I will not be able to showcase her on her meta team. Unfortunate, but you kind of already know my thoughts on the Guy and Velazard, so I think we're just going to use her in a couple different settings. Just note that this is not her quote-unquote best team, but it is her showcase and her output. So with that said, let's dive in. Okay, so this is the first fight we're going to go into. This is Crucible 89 against Rigurd and Gobta. So two enemies, that way we can showcase Rain using her AoE skill, maybe to kill both of the units. The space team is, this team actually looks pretty good. Veldora, Cabby, Milim, Hero, Misery, and then Carrion. So obviously not 2.0, but again I said that we don't have the 2.0 units on this, so unfortunate, but you gotta make do with what you gotta do. So let's go ahead and dive in, try and give her a couple different buffs, and then see how hard she hits. She is level 80, so this is a good test of how much that AoE skill will do just outright. She does have, I think, a 4-star Awakened Claw on her. So we will... Where did she pull that sword from? I've never seen her intro. Okay, then. Okay, oh, okay, well, we're gonna do this again. Okay, well, we got a pretty good starting hand. If we had the new Velazard, this would actually be perfect, because we could just use her orb change. But we don't. But what we can do is that we can at least boost all of these greens with Misery, and then work on getting... right, so let's take out Milim for Rain. Alright, let's turn off the skills too as well. Hopefully this doesn't... hopefully this doesn't cause my game to crash. Alright, so let's test some damage. Let's just do her basic... Oh, that's only one enemy each time. Okay, well, whatever. So let's test how much she does with this 300%. What is her attack stat right now? 5885. Okay. So taking into account Rigurd's defense, which is not quite 52, I expect this attack to maybe do 7,000. Maybe. Let's find out. 8,300. Okay, so better than I thought it would. Also, you see that she has now cut her HP by a quarter, so it's still not what I consider great in terms of longevity, but we did 8,000 damage, which is essentially, well, what, a free orb out of here? Let's find out how much damage she normally does. 39, 29, 4,000. This is with the boosted greens, though, so the greens do extra damage, so maybe not a totally fair comparison. 8,000 actually isn't that bad. We know Daggerel at level 80 does like 7,000, and he does 250% versus the 300 that Rain does. So, Rain does have higher attack stats than Octagram Daggerel because he is balanced growth type. Another feather in his cap, I guess. But let's see, what is her other skill? So she lowers space resistance and increases crit damage, so that goes well with the hero. We have Carrion on the team, but we're going to not use his skill because his is 20%, and I do want to show off Rain. So let's kind of build up to where we can use both of those. I kind of want to get her ult, but I don't know if we're going to last that long. We might. I kind of want to see how much we do without any Veldora stacks, to be perfectly honest with you. That might be hampering her a bit. Okay. This will almost get me her ult. Maybe, okay, so we can probably kill or hit Gobta with it. Alright, that gets us ult. And he healed, and he has guard, so he will not die here. Ideally, he will not die here. Alright. Cool. I got 2 ults. Alright. So. Guard doesn't care about ults. Defense down, super guard rate. Yeah, we can move on. We can kill here with Misery. And then move on to the next phase. Well, maybe kill with Misery. Yeah, okay. Alright, so yeah, let's move on to Gobta. And then let's kill, or let's hit it with a decently buffed up Rain. So we've got the crit buff, and then we've got the resistance down and the crit damage up. So let's see how much we do on this ult right here. Okay. Interesting hand. So let's do that, that, and then send her last. So her ult, let's take a look at it. I mean, yeah, the weird plasma cannon looks cool, but it's just, I'm not a big fan of the animation. How much does she do? Was that 18,000 damage? It kind of lagged out for a little bit. Okay, that was just with crit and the resistance down. That's not terrible for an AoE with only, well, 1 major buff. Ish. Okay, let's see what happens when she's fully buffed up. Let's test out that damage. Alright, we're going to go into not EX Sky Dragon, but we're going to Master, just so I can test damage. I want to get all the buffs. I want to get Millim's buff, I want to get Hero's buff, I want to get her own buff. I mean, you could put Rimuru on here as well for a damage test. Unfortunately, the Predator battles are all done for today. I might have to record that in the morning. Actually, no, we might as well just do that. Alright, so starting out, we actually have a pretty decent hand of almost all greens again. I don't have any orb changers for orange to green, though, so we're just going to use Misery's boost and then bring in Rain for Misery. And then we'll just kind of send away. Again, this is Master. I just wanted to get enough points without, you know, the realistic fear of dying. I don't know the strength of this account that well. So 150%, 6,300. He doesn't have any guard up, so that's okay damage. I don't want her to be nerfed here, though, and she only has 1 orb anyway, so I'm going to get her out. Just so we don't get that attack nerf, so we can keep seeing consistent damage. So let's pull Misery back in, and then I guess we'll send the hero orbs? No, okay, we're going to send the nerfed oranges, get them out of there. That'll get us a Veldora meter. Alright. And then I guess we'll bring her back in for the hero since they're not nerfed. And then we'll use Veldora, get a stack on her. And let's skip that. Alright, and let's send the threes again. See how much damage she does now with the guard up. 2,000 damage. Okay, we're continuously getting one orb. Great. Alright. Let's just burn these Millims out. I mean, as long as we can get her ult and we can get enough points to show off what we need to, I don't think it's a terrible loss. Alright, here we go. Here's a good hand. 4 for her. This should get her ult. Well, maybe. Okay, yeah, it does. Alright, 2,000, 1,000, 2,200. Alright, so we have her ult here now. We could send it, but the defense is still up and we do have enough points to buff. But we're going to hold on to it for a little bit longer. I just want to make sure we have enough for everything. So we will need 15 for her buff skill. 20 was another 15 for her damage skill. 110 for the crit and space boost. So here... Okay, we're going to keep sending misery orbs. Okay, so there. Okay, so that's because we got another Veldora meter out of it. Okay, so here we go. So let's go ahead and put the Veldora stack on her. And then for this turn, I think we're going to not super boost. We're going to use her... Oh, we're not going to use anything. What am I doing? I guess we're going for max points. All right. Okay, now... Now I should be okay to use things. So... Yeah, maybe. Thinking about it. Thinking hard. Bring her back in, I believe, for Misery. And then I think here we use her for her AoE skill just by itself with no modifiers to see how much damage it does. And then we'll get Millim in for Carrion. It's fine. Alright, so here I think about using all the skills. But then I realize that I haven't really shown off her AoE effect yet. So let's go ahead and do this without the resistance and crit damage buff. Let's just do this 300% basic damage and hurt ourselves. So 8,300 damage right there. That's decent. With the other debuffs on, she'll do more. So I think now we're going to hold, get more points, and then next turn we're going to use the resistance down and then use the skill again and see how much it goes up by. So starting at 8,300, and okay, we get stunned, so I guess we're going to hold a turn. We'll just burn out these. Alright, so here as an ult, cool. Whatever, we're not going to use it. Okay, so now we're not stunned. Let's use the resistance down now, so space resistance plus the crit damage, but the crit damage won't modify the AoE attack. It'll just modify any attack that, you know, comes from orbs. But now that the resistance is on, let's use the AoE skill again, and now it does 9,500, so went up by 1,200 points, give or take, and she is at 1 health. So not ideal, being at 1 health, but we're ready to kill anyway, so let's go ahead and send it. We've got the space, we've got the crit boost, we've got the space resistance down and the crit damage, and she does a whopping... okay, let's watch the ult again because it's a new day. Again, just not terribly impressed with this animation. Demolish cannon. Alright, how much damage would do? It's like 33, I think. Yeah, 33-1. So, I mean... For an AoE skill at level 80 unit, it's not terrible. Especially with the Jubilee that's going on, is you're meant to be using AoE skills left and right. You're meant to be using Guy to get ults like every other turn, pretty much. So, I mean, she's not terrible, but you kind of do need her new team, more so than anything, to really make her run, since it's so heavily focused on AoEs. And, you know, pulling her for that space resistance down is not a good enough reason to try and run her on the old space team. Because, you know, the carry and crit buff is 20% versus her 15. the space resistance down we can easily overcome with just more stacks of Veldora. Misery doesn't really have a place on the old space team because it's buffing green. She's buffing greens and we need blues. I don't know. Let's see if we can get another stage in here or not. I'm not entirely sure if we can. Alright guys, it's going to be a very, very short, very incomplete showcase because my iPad just cannot handle it and it crashes every single battle and I can't get good footage. So we're just going to run with the couple of events that I had here, the Crucible stage and then the Master Conquest. Again, this account doesn't have Guy or Velzard, so I can't show her on the team that she's meant to be used on, but we did get a small, a small sampling of what she can do with her her AoE skill and then the additional buffs that we put on. So I think, for better or worse, it's what we're gonna have to live with for now. This is what I get for not summoning on a meta. But I know this doesn't give you a good idea and a good picture of her, but I still recommend that you not summon for Rain, because I just think that everyone should skip this meta and keep holding their gems, hoarding as much as possible until the 1-year anniversary. But yeah, thanks for trying to watch this video. I appreciate it anyways. Thank you to Kellanori for letting me borrow the account. I'm sorry I couldn't use it in the best way possible, but it is what it is. But that's it for me, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you later.